land is like not going to last very long, and my previous concern with 5 is like I would like to consult with town council or like with council of is there a way we can have like if things get bad, can we demo? Because like that's what's coming for all of these houses is it's going to erode away even if it's on filings. And like I don't want to sit and be like that town down the Cape where there's a house 10 feet from the edge and they're like we don't know what to do. So that's my main hang up is like 20 years down the line. What's happening. And that's like I would like perhaps get this because
should still be seeing audio.
Previous case on the street I still do. So it doesn't seem because I get it follows the standards, everything's there, but the reality is Townneck Beach is not long for this world in that. And this is written on it. So
it might be a difficult thing to kind of navigate because they still have a right to build regardless of the doing and all that. So like, I don't know I don't think that's enough to necessarily deny something.
I'm not looking to deny. Like, how can this project happen that when it gets to the point where that house is no longer viable, that we're not stuck in a situation where it's the homeowner that's building this is 2 owners away and they are gone now, but now we have a house that needs demolition.
Yeah.
And like clearly it's going to affect the resource area when that happens, and I don't know how to approach that because I don't think there's anything right now that.
Or it just falls in the ocean and made up all that.
Yeah, and like it's a temporary house.
I completely agree with Jeremy. And I also wanted to find out, do we know what the how much we gained in square footage as far as the 60 foot? How much bigger is the house getting?
Well, it has to stay in the same footprint because it's condo. The only thing that's different is there's no stairway now because it's on the ground basically.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bump out and do a stairway. You see it in the drawings, it's 4 foot. And then that's on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, there's just a platform to put generator in, the air conditioning and all that has to be up off the ground. Other than that, it basically has to stay within the footprint of the house and the deck.
Okay, so we're gonna raise it.
So I believe the increase is 43.29%.
Oh, okay. So it's not the same footprint.
Well, it is. We're going up 2 stories,
Oh, that's right.
but
Okay,
you
so
don't
we're not-
count the stairway, the hallways, the bathrooms.
I was just looking for the okay.
But it has to stay within that footprint.
Okay. And then, so I know it's got gravel now. I believe there's a requirement for a 1/4 inch.
That's conditioned.
Yeah, it's noted on there.
Before.
And
3/4 inch ground wash, stone, a bunch of adjectives. But
Is this right at the end of the path?
Yes.
So there was a house there that's not
There
there.
still is.
Well, it's dilapidated, right?
no, the house is fine.
No, the house is not
There's
this
more-
size.
It's not so it's White Path.
Yes,
Is
and
it-
you take a right and you go as far as you can.
Oh, it's take your right, you go down. It's not the first house that was there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I haven't been there.
No, it's livable.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think to Jeremy's point, I think projects like these should be encouraged because the length of time that it will take for the sand to wash out something that's not raised is a lot different. So now they're getting FEMA compliant, they're getting their utilities up. So if there is a big storm, that would happen now. Otherwise, there could be complications with that. So I think as much as we want to look super in the future, I think we definitely should look at that outside of these regs. But I think that it's a good project. The increase in footprint is just the steps to get up to it. So I don't think I don't have any problem with that because that sort of has to be done and the proper mitigation afterwards. I think it's a good project. We need it, but there's something to be said about how to mitigate these strategies in the future.
Is that where the sand was? I was just finding out. Is that where they deposited the sand? Is that
That's part of it, yeah.
structures? ridiculous.
So that extends all the way down to the last entrance at Town Dock.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is part of that.
That's part, yeah, it looks like that.
It looks like that those maybe are the vehicles that are distributing the sand from that one, and then there's that platform just sitting there.
Yeah.
But it must have been on a dune, and the dune has washed away, and now it is sitting in the midst of new sand.
Yeah, I just can't feel, it's hard to get past the fact that Sam won't be there soon. You know what I mean? And how stable is it gonna be? And
And I think that, I mean, that is par for the course for most of Sandwich, unfortunately. I mean, as
This is-
forward-
this
I know
is-
it's not everybody.
yeah, like, yeah.
Thank you, yeah.
But I think, like, obviously, like, this project, I think, I agree, it's clearly better than the house that's there when it comes to when problems happen. But I think as, like, we need to figure out something that is beyond, like, this is, we need to think ahead. Because I think it's the perfect time of, like, they're doing work, how can we, you know, help people in the future, help us? And, like, I don't think we have an answer right now, and it's frustrating that isn't something, and I think it needs to be in the new regulations that there's like a provision for demolition and removal. 'Cause it's going to happen.
Destroyed or something,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's something we can definitely look at
So
when we do those reviews.
Yeah. We do, and we do have the letter from,
Yes, thank goodness.
I didn't hear that, are we connecting to the freestanding deck? Is that gonna be on?
No.
No.
Does it need to be?
No,
I mean, I need to look and see, the freestanding deck, to my knowledge, isn't a violation or anything that's
Yeah.
legally existing, it's just kinda odd that it is the way it is. And I can look into why that's there, but it's not, to my knowledge right now, it's not a violation, it's not an issue.
Was there a
It's
house
just-
attached to it at some point?
Maybe, I don't know for
I
sure.
don't think so. It might have been so you could see over the dune.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you had that looking over the dune.
And it's 2 feet above, it's
Yeah.
made correctly, it's just,
It's just odd.
Yeah.
it's a,
Well, I know.
Is there a limit of work on there, on the plan?
yeah, there's a limit of work, it's right along the NHESP line, which was why I had that note that I was concerned about.
There's a red dash line that surrounds
I think
it.
it says LOW on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just beyond on the next one.
See, this one's upside down in our,
Yeah, you can see it still. It's just beyond.
oh, there it is.
You can see where like that black hatch. That's where they're proposing mitigation following the construction.
Yeah, but how much mitigation are we talking about? I know it's just, you're just putting in, grass, but.
We're looking for a square footage. Basically, we're replacing any of the vegetation that's damaged or removed for the tear down and rebuild of the house.
other comments or thoughts?
Well, I just have a thought. The house is gonna be on stilts, right?
Correct.
So is that the thought that it's not gonna get washed away in 20 years? Or?
It's being constructed in accordance with FEMA and the building code.
It's brought up to
I
better.
think with those rigs, like
It's
the idea is that
are, yeah.
Yeah.
being up on
The
islands is
pilings are
safer.
down 15
It
feet.
also allows the movement of sand that it
So that
otherwise
keeps it
wouldn't.
from taking off.
That's why it's also tough to start, because now we have like state regs, then you have the government regs. So
Because our regs are 2 feet above the dune, but then building with FEMA is much higher, so
Yeah.
usually that covers our 2 foot.
But this is in accordance with all the regs.
Yeah, yep, they have to be.
Yeah.
We don't have a forum.
I'd be better with the site, I'd feel more comfortable with the site visit, getting, just more information about it, but I'm not.
We can schedule that if you'd like.
The problem is it's not a problem. It seems like it fits all of the regs. In my opinion, the regs are falling short of protecting our ecosystem, and that's frustrating.
So we have new regs that Jenna sent us that we're
We're
working.
gonna deal with in
I
January,
think-
right?
And I think that's the spot.
I think this is a really good project. I think they did everything that they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And I think the mitigation and the limit of work. But I think that we as a board should start looking at that. Like For example, this isn't the house, but that deck will be washed away beforehand.
Yeah.
So if someone came back and wanted to raise and rebuild that deck, we should have a regulation that we say, hey, our regulation that we have says that any structures that were damaged can't be
They
done.
can't go in the same spot or
Yeah.
something.
So that has to be a later discussion, but I think that unless there's questions about the actual regulations, then I think that this should be approved, but.
Yeah, it's, all right, I'll motion to, approve DEP file number SE 66-2062, Peter and Cassie Lemire of Maryland. Surveyors, 8 Whitecap Path, Sandwich, Mass. 02563. With standard and special conditions. I think it's discussed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You oppose it, okay.
Move on to DEP file number SE 66-2063, Genevieve Grimaldi of Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors, which has filed a notice of intent for proposed raise and rebuild of existing single-family home of 178A North Shore Boulevard, Sandwich, Mass. 547, located at map 71, lot 07.
1975.
Again, good evening. For the record, Tim Santos from Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. Representing the applicant, the property is located at 175A North Shore Boulevard, currently developed with 2 existing single-family homes and a garage. Resource areas on or within 100 feet of the property are a coastal dune, coastal beach, and land subject to coastal storm flowage. So what we're here tonight for is the demolition of the middle building, I'll call it, that's currently before you in the brown color, existing dwelling that we're proposing to demolish. Construct a new dwelling on piles, deck, and steps coming down to it. Roof runoff will be diverted to dry wells, tying into the existing utilities, and any area around the project that was disturbed will be revegetated with beach grass or other appropriate vegetation that the board feels necessary. Also, as part of this project, we're proposing 2 small decks on the rear dwelling that are shown there for I believe it's a utility platform and a rinse station. This project does have the DEP file number, and we're hoping that we can move forward with this project tonight. If you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to address them.
Open it up for public comment. And close for public comment, Jenny.
Back onto public comment, we did receive a public comment from abutters. I just wanted to make sure you guys were able to see that and acknowledge their concerns. And that was the only letter we received. My notes for, 175A, so it's the house in the middle, not the one all the way down the end, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that one looked new. This area is still at Barrier Beach with the 40% habitable space policy, and this is slightly above that 40% at 59.64.
When did it change from 60?
Is it 60? Okay.
Yeah, 60.
I know we were going back and forth with 60 and 40.
Don't
So.
scare me.
Okay, sorry.
The new rates are-
The new rate are okay.
Oh, that's gonna cause some issues.
We'll iron
We'll
those
talk
out.
about
But
that.
okay, then in that case, you were just barely fine. Thank you for clarifying. The NOI form has no checked off on NHESP. Are you anywhere near? I know the back property is closer to NHESP, right?
So there is an NHESP line, if you want.
Okay.
So it runs behind the existing deck, and then it drops down. I can go up there and point to it if you want.
But where you're working isn't near it.
We're not in it
Okay.
at all. There's no
Okay.
work nest.
There's a little, when I was out there, there's quite a few houses in that general area, so I just wanna make sure I'm looking at the right place. So I did a quick look at historical imagery, and there has been some encroachment into vegetation with the driveway. I don't know if you guys were aware of that at all, but if you look at the historical imagery from like 2015 to now, the shells kind of keep going further into vegetation, which I don't have, permits for additional vegetation removal or anything like that. So I think as part of this permit, if we were just to include some additional mitigation plantings, that could satisfy that issue there. And then obviously limit any additional seashell expansion with the driveway. And
Is that with this one or the one closer to the ocean?
so there's one little space in the front near the road, and then the one closer to the ocean. Are they with the same ownership, or are they all three different ownership?
Those two are in the same
The
Comaldi.
one with the garage in the front?
Yes.
Okay, so, and the one in the back is a different,
Well, no, we're directly behind is still Comaldi. yeah.
Okay.
So there's parking spaces for that house, and then I think there's just one parking space at this one.
okay,
Pretty narrow.
yeah.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, so the pictures that I were looking at were that back house there that's closest to the beach.
Okay.
Had a little bit of encroachment on the dune, and I get it, seashells move, things get spread out when you're driving. And then it was the driveway entrance where the garage is in the front, had expanded more than what was originally there when things were built. So that's kind of the areas that I was looking at, but honestly, if everyone was okay with putting some additional plantings, beach grass, beach rose, those kinds of things, I think that would,
That shouldn't be an issue.
that would be fine to compensate if the commission was comfortable with that. And that was my biggest concern, was that historical imagery, and habitable space is a non-issue, so I'm good. Thank
Scared
you.
me there.
Sorry.
It's a lot of math, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't envy it.
Open it up to the board.
I did visit yesterday morning as well, and it's clear, like right in front of that garage, if you're staring at the garage on the left, there's been vegetation removed. I lived at 179 for a year, which was the best. So it's like, oh yeah, I know that spot. And yeah, it's to the right of that, the northernly house, there's that parking spot to the right of it that you can tell that it's been, like cut into the dune there. So those two don't feel great, but I think we just, as any restoration would have, we need some just plantings
And we
there.
can condition it for that too.
So, it was funny going through the projects. I'm like, these two seem very similar. And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe the same squad teaming up for it. But I think what we typically like to see on these projects is here. So, that was my only concern, was that vegetation.
Yeah, so we'll have them work with Jenna. We want them to provide a revised plan outlining those areas.
We could just condition it to include, whatever you guys would like as a ratio for mitigation
Yeah.
in any disturbed or past disturbed areas. I can condition it as that, so it's not just what's being disturbed now, it's what would have otherwise been considered a violation, so.
So then when they go to close it, there'll be a condition that says, and then if that mitigation hasn't been met, it won't be.
Yeah, it'll be, right after our standard one that has the 6, 8, 12 month monitoring with the plantings.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to let me know what kind of ratio you want me to do, and if you have plant specifics, I can add that in there too.
I think we need to be public comment to the record.
Okay.
You want to read it? I know you opened it up, but there is public comment. I think it should be read.
Yeah, that's, yeah. If you want to.
What?
Any other?
There's public comment. I think, he opened it up to public comment, but
Yeah.
he actually had public comment. We usually read that into the record.
I'll go through and read that.
I've got it here if you want me to read it.
Yep.
This is Overboard Cottage Condominium Association, 174 North Shore Boulevard, East Sandwich, November 28th, 25. Town of Sandwich Conservation Commission, regarding the proposed project at 175A North Shore Boulevard. Dear Conservation Commission members, in advance of the December 3rd Conservation Commission meeting, as concerned residents and abutting property owners with deeded rights to Howland Road, we wish to express significant concern about the existing and ongoing destruction of coastal dune areas at 175 North Shore Boulevard. We would like to request the Commission consider these issues before allowing any proposed projects to proceed on this property. Comparing the proposed project survey/plans in the NOI to earlier surveys and plans submitted for previous projects at this property, see attached surveys and plans from January 2016 and July 2019, shows where several coastal dune areas on the property have been disturbed and destroyed over the years. We also noticed that the February 2024 survey used for the proposed project in the NOI is not an accurate reflection of the now current existing conditions. So we have also attached photographs taken this month to show that there has been further destruction of coastal dune areas throughout the property. Slowly and surreptitiously, they have added and expanded multiple driveway and parking areas by digging out coastal dune areas and removing vegetation. The specific areas of concern are driveway parking areas along 175B. The house has been dug deeper and wider into the back of the dune toward the beach and extended beyond their property boundary toward the middle of Howland Road. See attached pics as the extent of this most egregious destruction has expanded since February of 2024. Next, completely new driveway parking area with fence has been added along the entire front of 175B. The house, dug out of a previously vegetated coastal area, as shown on their February 2024 plan and pics. Driveway parking area behind 175A, the cottage, has been made bigger. Driveway parking area near the garage is now much wider since the area to the left front of the garage has been cleared of vegetation all the way to their westerly property line. See attached pics as the extent of destruction has expanded since the February 2024 survey. We sincerely request that prior to approving any proposed projects at this property, the Conservation Commission consider these serious concerns and advise on plans to address the destruction of coastal dune areas and vegetation, both past and future, which are of significant importance to the surrounding and abutting properties. We regret that we are unable to attend the meeting on December 3rd, but are happy to answer any questions you may have about the concerns outlined in this letter. Sincerely, the Porterboard Cottage condominium owners, and it lists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, and there are quite a few pictures showing you what they have outlined in the letter. I don't know if you guys have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Trees and vegetation removed all the way to the left.
And those are, just so you know, some of the areas that I had observed as well. The area with the fence that was purportedly expanded, that was one of the spots I noticed. There was a pull off there, but it's since been squared off. And I think it was over the summer, I spoke to individuals over there doing, adding seashells to the driveway that was already existing. So it explained, the permitting process behind that. But they weren't expanding anything at that time, otherwise it would have been a stop work order. But those areas that they're referring to are the ones that I also saw in the Google imagery.
So the 2016 plan shows that it keeps, it does keep going back. And we're probably using from existing, okay, but this is where it is now, so we'll just keep, I just don't, I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, that's what I was addressing, was these things. So the
Right.
plan is to revegetate them, or plant vegetation.
For 2 to 1, or?
Whether you guys agree on, I can condition it for that.
I think a 2 to 1's reasonable.
So 2 to 1 in addition to the original amount. Do we want them to bring it back to where it was previously?
Encroached, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not 2 to 1 in those areas, not 2 to 1, elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah. And I can explain that, 2 to 1 in affected areas, see sketch, whatever. And
So essentially we would need a calculation of what the square footage that was disturbed, and then they would do twice the amount, so reduce their parking. Is that what the 2 to 1 is? Sorry,
I think it was just 2 to 1, so whatever, my understanding was if one plant got, removed, then you had to put 2 in that spot.
I don't know when they got removed,
We can estimate off of the Google imagery, or we can condition, I'm not sure if we have if that's something you guys can look at and see percentage of cover or something.
So we could ask to see a revised plan that outlines. We could also we could accept this, but we could condition it that if the engineer can outline these areas and submit that plan along with Jen, So then before they receive their permit, there's a plan on file that says, here's the 2016 plan of record that shows where the driveway was. Here's where we're removing the driveway and installing that mitigation.
I think we would need revised plans for that, just because once this is voted, okay, there's a time, a time clock that's ticking for 21 days, so.
We don't ever want to not have the correct one on file.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. But they wouldn't have to come back. I mean, as long as that was submitted, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can submit it and then, or you guys can submit it, I'll add it to the link for your review, and then we could approve it at the next meeting that we're at.
So we'll continue.
Yeah, that's,
So I'll make a motion to continue DDB file number SC 66-2063 for 175A North Shore Boulevard to the
January
7th, to the January 7th meeting, to include, plans to include mitigation and landscaping plans on the final blueprint plans. Right?
So what do you want to do? Have
Does
Tim
December
do it?
work for you, first of all? Is that okay?
Well, if December 17th doesn't work, then yes, January 7th works. And if I don't have to come back, it's even better.
Yes.
So I will give you a call.
Yep.
If you can send me the 2016 plans.
I'll send you everything.
That'll show me the areas that I need to revegetate.
Yeah, and I can show you
That's
the imagery too. It's, yeah,
And we can try to figure out what type of vegetation is there.
sounds good.
I think it can be conditioned, but I understand your stance. I'm not gonna sit here and argue about that, so.
So it was seconded for the January 7th, 2026 meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So basically, it's,
Yeah, we don't have to come back to it, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday season.
Thank you.
Next up, continued filings. I'd like to open DEP file number SE 66-2059, Chris McElroy, care of Wet Tech Land Design Inc., which has filed a notice of intent for proposed raise and rebuild of existing single-family home with new septic system, invasive species removal, and vista pruning at 204 Route 6A, St. Louis, Mass. 02563, located at map 66, lot 46.
Good evening. It's good to see you again. It's much warmer the last time I saw all of you. I was here last time and we got most of this project, I think, approved, and there was some feedback from the board about strip to separate the encroachment area, the area that we violated, with a grass strip, and also put a note on there that the knotweed that is to be removed would be removed physically by excavation. So I have a revision of the same plan that's on here, and it mentions a grass strip that's along this area, plus 3 trees that are to be planted in that area as mitigation for this project. I hope this satisfies it. There were no other questions.
I'm sorry, public comment.
I'd like to open it up for public comment and close public comment. Jenna?
I received revised plans, both digitally and in person, and those plans encompass what we discussed last time with the vegetated buffer strip connecting the two areas, and that kind of borders on the BVW or isolated vegetated wetland that was affected, and along with the mitigation plantings and trees. I think that satisfied most of the comments from last meeting, and I just wanted to know this is under bylaw only because it's an isolated wetland, so the order of conditions and everything will just be through the town, not EDEP. So
Open it up to the board.
So I think when we talked about it, the tree replacement was going to be 2 to 1 because they were like 80-year-old trees or something like that. Did that happen? And then
I think
the erosion.
I don't remember what the discussion specifically was. I know we talked about, because there were trees removed within our jurisdiction and outside of our jurisdiction. There was a lot more, in my opinion, outside of the 100-foot, but there were definitely some within. I don't know off the top of my head how many, but I think, I think you talked about planting.
Yeah, there was 3, I had mentioned in the last meeting, there was 3 inside the 50, and 4 outside the 50, from 50, yes, to 100.
So
there was
9.
7 trees. I thought we had agreed on just the 1-for-1, so I put in 3 trees on the plan in that area, but that area is not to be violated, so, because you have that grass stripping.
A black locust, invasive, they're a black locust that came down.
We don't really look at invasives as much versus non-invasives for removal. I mean, it's still habitat and biomass for large mature trees anyway. In my opinion, sorry, I don't mean to speak for anybody.
And this is Chris McElroy, he's the owner.
I didn't clear the land, I actually gave instruction not to clear that area, but they didn't pay attention to me. So.
Just for the record, could you state name and address, please?
Excuse me?
Name and address, just for the public record.
Chris McElroy's 18 Shipman Road, Sandwich.
Thank you.
The erosion controls are put in as well?
Yes, that was put in, that's what these fellows violated. It was in before they cleared the lot, and they just went right over it. It still exists where it was.
I agree. I think 2 to 1 should be sort of our standard because then it decentivizes people from removing trees.
Yeah, trees.
We also mentioned hopefully doing smaller sizes. They're likely to survive a little less cost. But I agree, and I think that could be conditioned just as a.
Is it to all 7 trees 2 to 1 within the 50 and the 100?
50. It's 50 at least. Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed the 50 before.
Okay. 2 to 1, smaller caliber.
So, but 1 to 1 in the 100, but 2 to 1 in the 50. What I would say.
Okay. So 2 to 1 within the 50 foot, and then 1 to 1 on 100 foot. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate the buffer strip. I think it's 4 foot wide. That's perfect. That just kind of sets that now for the future. The plan kind of meets everything else that we requested. So it's just a minor change in the quantity of trees and approved.
Yeah, I can condition that as such, so that's easy enough if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay. You ready to approve?
Motion to approve DEP file number SE 66-2059, Chris McElroy, care of Wet Tech Land Design, Inc., 204 Route 6A, Sandwich, Mass. 02563, with standard and special conditions. As discussed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Next up, DEP file number SE 66-2060, Stephen Keneally, care of Marsh Matters Environmental, which has filed a notice of intent for proposed addition to a single-family home at 497A Route 6A, Sandwich, Mass. 567, located in map 53, lot 13.
16D with a capital D for the Wi-Fi. 16 Dewey. Capital D. Yeah. And then that's to the Wi-Fi, and then if you want to cast on there, if you have the windows, you have the windows in the K.
Yeah, let's see. I just want to bring up the what's here. Let's see if this one 16. Incorrect. Yeah, this might not work. That's okay. That's okay. Good evening, Mike Ball from Marsh Matters Environmental. I'm here representing Mr. Steve Keneally of 497A Route 6A. This we're returning to you after the last hearing, which was the second hearing, to provide an updated set of site plans that EAS survey had prepared. Morel Orta was at the last hearing, and at the first hearing, he's also updated his set of plans to address some commission concerns. One of the main things that you were looking for was a planting plan to show a reduction in gravel around this project. So the plan that EAS needed to revise was to add those areas, and then my job was then to provide just a very simple planting plan showing the number of species, quantities, sizes of that planting, and all that. So that should be in your packet. So you'll have a plan from EAS, my one-page planting plan, and then Morel's set of design drawings. And I know his drawings did include notes on dealing with stormwater runoff. So in that plan set, he does include some notes regarding collecting roof runoff to allow that to infiltrate into rain barrels and dry wells. Let me just see if I covered everything here. The EAS site plan does indeed show a footprint of the house further away from the salt marsh. That was something that wasn't shown on the first plan. I asked Ed Stone, who is EAS survey, to tighten up the work area. The original plan had shown a work limit that extended all the way over to the east boundary, and I just asked him to tighten that up, because nothing's happening over there. So I asked him to move that over. So we've got a reduced work limit. Total gravel reduction is going to be 1,056 square feet according to EAS's calculation. I filled that with 80 native plants, a combination of woody shrubs and panic grass. All the 4 species are all currently existing on the property, so I thought they were good choices. The revised shed relocation footprint. Originally, the revised shed was shown in an area that's currently vegetated, and there's really no reason to have it there, so we've moved that shed relocation footprint onto the existing gravel surface, so there won't be any need to disturb any vegetation to move that shed. I think those were all the changes from the last hearing. Okay, love to answer any questions.
Thank you. Open it up for public comment and close public comment. And Jenna?
I don't have anything new. I had been in touch with Mike and gotten all the plan revisions and organized all of those, because I know we've been through a couple of them. So that's all since been updated, and I think everything that we've discussed in the last 2 meetings now has been satisfied. I still think it's important to leave the conditions in perpetuity that I talked about last time in place, if that's good with everybody, just to kind of keep that the vegetation in the buffer zone, and storing of equipment, and not allowing that back part of the property to get developed in any way or anything, because that's obviously fragile over there. I didn't have anything really new to go over there, so that's all I got.
I'd like to open it up to the board. Any comments, questions?
I just think, it's all previously disturbed, the new building, so I think an additional buffer on either side of the wetland is actually good. So I'm glad that we shifted that from the first hearing where it was right next to the salt marsh. It's us doing our job. So the planting plan looks good. I would only just say that the erosion control will be the straw wattle and silt fence, just because it is so close. So if we can just condition that it's a combination, less likely of any erosion.
Just out of curiosity, what is the increase in square footage?
The total was...
It's 9 something, like 954.
Sorry.
750.
The existing house was 750. The proposed addition, I think it actually says it right on the plan.
958.
958. Yeah. And then I believe.
001.
Yeah. And I believe that includes the stairways, because the house is going up. They're going to have access and egress stairways. So I think that's inclusive of all the new structure.
We've gone through it a few times. I think I'd be comfortable with The new plans provided certain items that are recommended so far as the conditions in perpetuity. We don't want any more disturbance going on over there. It's just very delicate. So if that's part of the motion, that would be great.
Yep, no problem there.
I think it brings an end to our request on this, which is, thanks for the work.
It's always gonna look like that. Do we have, this is just a me question, do we have monitoring reports for mitigation as part of our standard conditions? It's right next to the house, so it's like one of those things where you never know if something's gonna get.
Yeah, and they, honestly, part of that requirement, that condition, they can't apply for a COC without making sure those plantings are satisfied.
Yeah.
So I've had COCs get held up because they didn't notify me when the vegetation started, and they're like, well, it's in the ground. Needed to know that 18 months ago. But, you know, so they technically can't without that condition being satisfied. Can't close it out. So.
Perfect.
Cool. So just, so rain barrels, I don't know, is that even?
That was a question. There was a rain barrel, and then I think Bernice was requesting that the rain barrels be tied into bylaws. Was that?
Yeah, so if you look on, let's see, on Morel's sheet 8002, which should be the second sheet in his set, would be, sorry, I wish I could have put this up on the sheet. So the second sheet is A002, and he has added in red and blue the addition of rain barrels should be located at every corner of the building inside the crawl space to prevent runoff from gutters and downspouts. Spigots may be connected to the barrels for the water to be used for house chores. And then above that, he says rain barrels outflow to be installed connecting to a dry well in the event of excess water.
That way, the rain barrel water doesn't just flow right in. It's going through dry well filtration before it goes into the soil. Right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Am I understanding that correctly?
It is a good way to catch rainwater. I think it sounds good to me. As long as we know that the dry wells are installed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time visualizing what he wrote, but then I realized the house is going to be elevated as required, and so I can see how that would.
Water and water going all the way
You
down.
have barrels. It looks like he's showing barrels inside the footprint of the house, and then they would be, any overflow would be piped to probably one adequately sized dry well.
Anything else?
Great. That's good to me. Motion to approve DEP file number SE66-2060, Stephen Kennelly, care of Marsh Matters Environmental, 479A Route 6A, Sandwich, Mass. 02537, with standard special conditions as discussed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So Mike Ball, new Sandwich Conservation Trust member, if I'm
I
not
am.
mistaken.
I am.
We got it in the newsletter. It's like, hey, there we go.
Very good.
I'm in a trial period. They're going to see if they want to keep me. But
You and Deirdre.
yeah, I think it's about time.
They're a good squad.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
We need to open the certificate of compliance.
And I don't have anything to discuss really, so up to you guys. Why not, right? I'm not sure if it's required or not.
Okay, I've opened certificate of compliance, DEP file number SE66249, filed an abbreviated notice of intent for a gunite concrete swimming pool at 432 Route 6A, East St. Louis, 02563, located at map 32, lot 037.
Okay. So 432 here is doing a couple different things. They've got a standard certificate of compliance, and then they need a duplicate order of conditions because they have to get that recorded. It wasn't recorded back whenever 249 existed. And then a duplicate certificate of compliance, all for the same property, through two different file numbers. I went there today. It's the bookstore. So everything looked pretty good over there. It seemed to be in compliance. I didn't notice any changes historically. I mean, the pool is there. It is fenced in.
So do we need to do two separate motions then for the?
Well, technically, I think you just need a motion for the straight CSE. The other things have already been closed out. It's just a duplicate, so it's a paper exercise to help them get everything squared away at the registry.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve, to issue certificate of compliance for DEP file number SE 66249 at 432 Route 6A East Sandwich 02563.
Second.
All in favor?
Let me make sure I got these right.
And then I need to make a motion to approve the duplicates.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just to sign them or approve the issuance of a duplicate. You can go with that. It's just to be safe.
Make a motion to approve the duplicate certificate of compliance SC 66388 at 432 Route 6A East Sandwich 02563.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And make a motion to approve duplicate order of condition for SC 66249 at 432 Route 6A East Sandwich 02563.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And move extension, open DEP file number SE 661802, Sean Cassell, Cara Prime Engineering Inc. file a notice of intent for dune replacement via core envelope installation, sand nourishment, and stair deck repair at Assessor's Map 85 Parcel 14, located at 90 Salt Marsh Road, East Sandwich, Mass. 3-year extension request for sand renourishment.
Yep, I received that request. They've been extended not that many times, once before. And this is just for sand renourishment. They're not doing anything else on the property. It's just to bring more sand in. I know in the past, we usually do a 3-year, but I've seen 5-year extensions for sand renourishment, and that might help them out a little bit. It's literally all they're doing is placing sand. And that's what that would include, but 3 or 5 if you guys are okay with them putting sand back.
I support a 5-year.
Support that.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Stand back.
Yeah.
More sand is always good.
Yes.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve a 5-year extension for 90 Salt Marsh Road, DEP file number SE 661802, for sand replacement and sand and deck repair. Do we want
Just sand.
Just
So
sand.
that's just the original. Right, there's 5 years just for sand.
just for sand renourishment? Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to other business, we do not have anything for the restoration order review and wetland violation review.
So, yeah.
Could I, under restoration order review, ask about a restoration order before we jump into that one?
Sure.
Just Zero Gully Lane is one that I uncovered about 3 years ago.
With the train track, right?
It's train track, and then I don't know how many trees, 40 mature trees.
Wicked.
It still causes me great sorrow because I went up there recently and there's nothing that's been done. So I don't know if they have a plan, but it would be good to see if they do.
I've been following up on all of our restoration orders that are in limbo, or I got one thing on, but I haven't heard from in a couple months. I know that property did have, I want to say it was Crawford Land Management. I'm not 100% sure, but they did have a professional consultant out there with plans to revegetate.
Yeah.
I can look back and see what exactly went on in that site visit. That was like early, I want to say last fall. And I can follow up with them, no problem.
Cool, thank you.
We had 2 other ones too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I literally went down the whole spreadsheet and just sent either letters, emails, or phone calls to say, hey, what's going on? Where are those plants?
And remember that one on Town Neck, we went to check
I do.
work, and we uncovered other ones. I don't think that ever got filed.
What was that one?
So it's on, let me bring up the road. It's like Carnival Road. What's it called?
Common Ave, maybe?
It's, I think it's on Dillingham. We went and did a visit. I think it's
It was on Dillingham.
maybe 70 Dillingham, 72 Dillingham. And as we were there, we looked over, and it looks like just the houses along that road have been maintaining lawn past the stone wall, and the stone wall is the town boundary marker, because on the other side, between the stone wall and the marsh is town land, and it's maintained as yard. I did ask Josh about it because it's an interesting boundary. Like, it seems like you could, I think it's town land, so it's not under our purview, but if the town was like, we could have a perimeter trail around there. I mean, it's kind of an interesting area, but.
Isn't that not Ave too? Is that by not Ave properties?
Yes. Oh, maybe that was it.
Yeah,
Was it
not
not
Ave.
Ave? And then the issue was on
That's right.
Dillingham.
That's right.
I can see, because we have record of Josh's past spreadsheets and things too, so I'll look and see. We tried to compile everything, but I'll see what.
Yeah, that's 100% it, because
Okay,
that was
that's
not
right.
Ave,
That's
and we
right.
walked down the trail,
That's
and
right.
we were like, why is
Remember,
there a lawn
why
over
is there
there?
so much lawn?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think it's 32 now.
32?
Yeah, and
I'll look at the whole.
Yeah, look at
the blue and see
yeah.
what I find.
And there is a spreadsheet. If you don't have it, I think I might have it.
Okay, I know you sent it to us at one point, or sent us some spreadsheet that we then compiled with
That's right.
24, 25,
That's right.
and then followed up on things that were not followed up on
Yeah,
since like
'cause we
2021.
didn't notice that during that. That's a good memory.
But yeah, I can look into both of those, so no
thank you.
problem, I add it to the list. The
131 North Shore Boulevard.
Yeah, so that one, I had gotten a complaint, neighbor to neighbor, and sent them a letter, because I had no contact information for the property owner, and they sent me a letter back with no contact information. So, rather than playing snail mail tag, I went there today, met with it's off of, is it something Beach Realty at the,
Yeah.
T of North Shore Boulevard
Yes,
there? Met with somebody over there who was able to show me which house it was, took a look. It's one of the cottages or condos, I guess, that are right on the end facing the water. And they cut back, according to the letter they received, when I told them they should come to this meeting, they couldn't because they were out of state. They said they just removed poison ivy, but they really cut kind of a big semicircle of vegetation. It looks like maybe they tried to put some plantings in there, I don't know of what, and put a picnic table and astroturf. So none of which is going to last for very long in that climate because they're pretty exposed up there. I got the return letter from them, I want to say it was yesterday. Left my contact information with the realty people so that they could give my info to them so I could try to communicate with them quicker than mail would allow. Depending on how compliant they are willing to be and work with me, I mean, I can do a restoration or we can do a full filing.
But they gotta be able to work with you, not.
That's usually how I go with things. Like if they're willing to work with me and be compliant, go, okay, yeah, we didn't know. Let me pull the astroturf and the picnic table out and put plants back. Then we can do it that way.
Yes.
Or we can go.
The last time this came up, Bernice brought up filing, and I came up and said, no, we want to work with these people. They were here, and my suggestion was, if we have a plan in 30 days, then you can go ahead and implement it and get it done by this fall. But it seems like that wasn't the case for that particular project. That was the one that was on the left-hand side of their property. I forget how it got brought up. I think they were running piping. The town was doing something.
Yeah. So I am still working with them. They've been really compliant, and I'm working also with engineering to figure that situation out because that pipe is causing more issues for them than I think.
In my experience, so when the town issues enforcement letters, do they put deadlines for?
So when I issue, there's two, and you probably know this, but there's two ways. There's a violation, and that's usually before I do the full enforcement order. Full enforcement orders through DEP.
Yep.
So once it gets kicked that high, it becomes a state issue. And I need permission from you guys to issue something like that. We had them at my previous conservation agent job, but I haven't done one here yet. So I've done deadlines like for this one, I said, you gotta, get back to me within so many days to confirm you're coming to this meeting. They said they can't, they're out of state, so I can give them another deadline. You have this many days to restore, the damage. And if you don't, then it's gonna, you're gonna have an after the fact notice of intent requirement for however many days. And if they don't do that, then it can go to, a full blown enforcement order.
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
That one was like September, so there were two that stick out to me, and I think a third one, but,
I don't know how much we can discuss other ones that aren't listed on here. I just don't want to.
We discuss like generally, yeah, so in general, I think typically what'll happen is like, say there's a violation, like in my experience, say there's a violation now, we have a May 31st like implementation date. So what I suggest, and maybe this would be in the regs, is we start with the violation, and then as soon as it's not, I think we should set strict deadlines until we go that enforcement route.
Yeah.
So then, and we can kind of, because I think we want to be strict about it, but we also want to be lenient. I think in most cases, like a full notice, like something like this, it's very clear where the violation was. Like very complex project, a full notice and understanding disturbances and things like that is appropriate. But I think you want to be lenient until it becomes, like you were saying, a project from 4 years ago that hasn't been completed. Then we can go the route of enforcement, which then comes with fines, and we can always say a fine at this date, and then if they're like, oh, sorry, then you can maybe pull that back. But if it continues, then
And a lot of the ones
You
from.
can have people ignoring us.
No, I will not be ignored.
that's not what I
I will
meant.
be, no, I know.
Good.
But, like the ones that from years past that I've been trying to follow up on, a lot of times those properties have changed hands. And the new owner's like, we did what now? Like, I have to do, huh? And I'm like, yeah, you do. Otherwise, you can talk to your previous owner and
Is
figure
there
it
a
out
way
with you
to
guys.
put, I don't mean to add work for people, but,
That's fine.
or to ask town council, can we put amendments on deeds? I mean, if we order somebody to do something, then they sell the house, and the new people don't have any idea, and then you have to contact the new people, and they're like, isn't there any way to
So a formal enforcement order is like a notice of intent or an RDA or something in that caliber. I think that stays with the house.
Okay.
Or stays with the property. So if that,
They can put a
somebody
lien
tries to
on
sell
it.
off a problem, it gets stuck to the deed.
Right.
Same with open orders.
I mean, I don't mean to be mean to the new people, but I mean, if they
No, it has
don't
to
know,
get
and the
fixed.
old people
Their
are trying
responsibility to do
to
due
hoodwink
diligence
them,
and find out.
it's like not right.
That would be the argument for requiring notices, but that's where the actual enforcement is a WPA form, so then it's in the wetlands protection.
Yeah, that's when it goes, it's not just a town issue anymore.
Exactly.
It's, excelled this far because they didn't work with us or ignored deadlines. And I think having actual okay, you've got 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, 90 days to do something and have that in writing as part of, part of revisions or policy, however you want to, because the ones that I've looked at in the past, there's no rhyme or reason to dates. So there, some said 30 days, some said a week, really depended.
What status is the 130, what is this one at right now? Can you just talk to them, or is there any correspondence?
I sent them the letter last week, I got the response this week. So it's probably it happened when Dave was still here, so probably 2 weeks old-ish.
Okay, but we talked to them in September?
When,
I think it said November 17th.
I sent the letter, November 17th.
No, this
No,
is.
that's a different one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm complete, because I was also thinking about this when I saw this.
So the one at hand, the one on the agenda,
Yes.
November 17th is when I sent the letter, and that was, I don't know, maybe 5 days after I got the complaint, just because it's been a little hectic in the office. I would have done it sooner.
So could I make a suggestion for this one? Should we, so this is, it's under a violation now, can we set a date of May 31st of the next year? So plantings can't be done now unless it's beach grass.
Yeah, and
So,
it was pretty shrubby.
As a commission, do we agree that if it's not rectified by May 31st of next year, that it goes into a formal enforcement?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Can we get a confirmation from them that they will do it, though? I mean, can we just say?
we can just tell them to do it, because I went there and I saw the violation.
Right.
I did a record search, did not have permission to do the work.
Right.
So at this point, it is a violation. It's not alleged, it's not he said, she said, there it is.
But I mean, let's get them to like, for us to have on record that they, yes, they agreed to the May 30th,
Well-
rather than just a letter and.
So if they were here, that would be, so.
That would, if they were here or had called me instead of just sending a letter back with no contact info, we could have had that discussion. I think, and hopefully the realty place is able to give them my card and they can reach out that way. We can continue to have this conversation, but I think to rectify this, we should send, or I can send a letter just saying, okay, well, I went there, this is the violation, this is what you did, this is what you can't do without a permit. You have this many days to fix it. You know, you have to fix it by this date or it's gonna go this far.
And can you say you can please confirm receipt?
Yes, yeah.
At least we.
And
we
please
get their acknowledgement.
confirm receipt of this letter or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Right,
I
so
mean, they did
we know.
confirm receipt with the
Because
first
they
letter,
sell-
but,
What if they sell the
Right.
property in April?
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That-
Well,
that
I've
doesn't
got the
go on
real,
record.
the realty people
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the hook too now. 'cause
You
they
see what
know.
I'm saying? You see-
Yeah, no, I
right,
do.
right.
And I think, you know, chasing, going back and forth with snail mail is not
Yeah,
not
not the
great.
way to go, but
And
yeah.
they're way out of state, so.
Do you think the extent of removals requires a restoration plan, or do you think it would be working with staff on saying, this is the approximate square foot, this is how many plants we want, and you can
Yeah.
work with them?
I
Yeah.
think I can work with
It
them
looked like it
because
was
it's-
just hand removal, and they
Yeah.
put some things there, so
And if
you would
you-
have to remove it, you can tell them what plants to put in, and then I would also suggest conditioning that requires monitoring reports. 'cause-
Definitely, they all do,
Yeah.
yeah. Let me just write that down as we go here.
Yeah, we'll look at that, but we have to make a motion to actually to issue a restoration order, right?
Because it's not a, like, official filing, you do have to make a motion for, enforcement order. For things like that, but restoration is usually just, you know, I typically in the past, I've just given you guys the options, you know, I could do a restoration after the fact, NOI would require a vote.
Then he has to stay with the property and make sure that.
It's me, I stay with them and keep bugging them to make sure it
But
gets
if they
done.
don't do it by May, then
Then it
it's
goes
whoever is
forward.
owning the property has that to do.
Okay.
And that's where that May deadline.
Yeah, like looking at this one, it makes sense. If it's a very extensive one, it may be best for us to start issuing enforcement orders.
Yeah.
Not to bring up other ones, but there may have been other ones that would fall under that category. And now, if we issue that enforcement, we have those fines of up to $300 a day. So now we have leverage.
Yeah.
For them to do it at a time, like, we don't
This is
want it
kind
to.
of like the olive branch of like, do this,
Yes.
and if you
And
don't,
then
then it becomes,
enforcement.
yeah.
All right, okay.
But when restoration orders, I keep track of all of them, they stay on a spreadsheet, I put, I don't know, reminders to like follow up on certain dates and things like that, so even if they're not on the deed, they don't go away. And I've had conversations with new homeowners.
We're kind of unique in that.
I'm not going anywhere, so don't
The only
worry.
one here.
But yeah, so, okay, I'll send them a second letter stating all of that with that deadline. And we'll go from there, and hopefully they give me better contact information than
Right, then nothing.
address
Yeah.
far away.
Any other business?
That's all I have.
Then I will make a motion to close the December 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Sandwich Conservation Commission at 7:11 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. Right.